Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's K-dre Almighty, and today I got another Disscussion video for you guys. In today's Disscussion video, I wanted to talk about the latest Pokemon games and how I feel about the new antagonists. I believe that's the word in the games. The evil teams, the villains, and what I think about the new direction they're taking. With the games they're creating for the antagonists of the games. Um, and when I say the new games, I mean Sword and Shield, Violet, Scarlet, those games. If you guys remember in the past, the original Pokemon games, up to I believe um, Ultra Sun and Ultra Violet, there always was a team, either Team Rocket, Team Galactic, Team Magma, Team Aqua, and there was always an evil scheme or a goal they were trying to achieve with their mission or their operation. And you will always uncover that, and by diving in and keep running into them, you'll uncover their scheme and what they're planning, and you will eventually stop them. And I believe that was one of the my favorite main parts of the Pokemon games was defeating those evil teams and figuring out what their evil plan is, and eventually stopping it. And there was always interesting characters within that team. Different bosses, henchmen, and underlings, grunts, and it's all kind of interesting stuff. They'll take over buildings, they'll take over towns. You have to run them out. Um, there's still people with Pokemon. They'll try to capture legendaries, and you'll be sent to chase them through different dimensions and caves, volcanoes, all kind of things to stop the evil plots. And I believe, for me, that was one of the things I loved about the Pokemon games. But it seems of late that Pokemon, the Nintendo company, Game Freak, whoever you want to say is involved, they shift the focus from that and made it into something else with their newer games. Let's start with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Pokemon Sword and Shield, a lot of people have stuff to say about that game. It's not one of my favorite Pokemon games, but I do love the Sword and Shield games because of the wild area. It was the first taste of actually being able to walk around the field and see Pokemon, around, just walking, just enjoying life and getting that sense of immersion in a Pokemon world for the first time. And I remember experiencing that and feeling I'm finally getting the full, experience that I dreamed of as a little kid. Even though it wasn't perfect, the environments weren't, like other, major RPG games, and um, there was a lot, not up to par with Game Freak and their development of that game. But that was one aspect of the game that I did love. But one of the many things that I did not like about the game is that I did not like the I essentially, I guess they're supposed to be villains. I wouldn't even say they're villains. I would say they're more of a nuisance. They're a fan of a certain. So in Pokemon Sword and Shield, my take of it at least, it's kind of like every trainer is maybe like a sports player. At least they dress you up in like a soccer uniform, and you go to this big kind of soccer field arena for your league battles or whatever. And I think that's the theme of the game. So essentially, you're kind of like you're an athlete, and more the nuisance or whoever the evil team was supposed to be in this game. Um, they're just really big fans of this one athlete. I forgot her name, but she's from one of the towns, and the people from that town, I'm guessing, I think it was, yeah, the people from her town. They're really big fans of her and they're rooting for her, and they get in your way every step. Blocking you from gyms, blocking you from getting into cities, just to try to give her the heads up. And I was really disappointed in this. I thought maybe, they were something to the side and they'll actually be some kind of evil entity. Now, there was kind of something going on at the end, I believe with the main guy that was orchestrating the competition. I won't spoil it for anybody, but it just, it just didn't hit like when it builds up from the beginning of the game. You have an evil team, you don't know their name, you find out their name. You don't know their purpose, you find out their purpose. You don't know exactly how they're going to achieve it. You find out how they're going to try to achieve it, and then you end up stopping them, and just finding out different grunts, different members, finding out who their boss is. What kind of Pokemon they use, where's their base. It was just a lot of things from the older Pokemon games that it's not in Sword and Shield. There's a lot that I like about Sword and Shield, but there's a lot that I don't like about Sword and Shield. I think Sword and Shield could have been better if there was some kind of evil team that we had to defeat, especially super fans. I don't like that. And in the new game, Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, it's like you're dealing with school bullies, essentially. They're not an evil team. They're just a bunch of delinquents or bullies or outcasts that formed a group, Team Star, and now you have to defeat them in their little forts or whatever, and try to get them to go back to school. I haven't finished Violet and Scarlet yet, but it seems like that's the purpose from how far I am in the game, and I don't like it. I want them to bring back, the evil teams in Pokemon. I want to experience finding out who the evil team is, finding out what their purpose is, like I said, finding out how they plan to achieve their purpose, and then eventually stopping them. I love that about the Pokemon games, them Team Aqua wanting to fill the world with nothing but water. Crazy plan, but that's what they were trying to achieve. Magma trying to fill the world with all Earth. Team Rocket, they just want to catch all the strong Pokemon. Team Galactic, they wanted to, I think, restart the world or something like that. Like, all these teams with their grand schemes and their view for the world, and you coming up with, going against them and finding out, why they want this, and it's kind of you kind of going against them, and it's it just hits different, and I don't know why the Pokemon Company shifted. There's so many things that people complain about in their games, and they changed something that wasn't broken, in my opinion. Now in anime, I did, eventually get tired of Team Rocket, Jesse James, and Meowth, and whatever other Pokemon they usually switch out and switch in, other than Meowth when they're doing the series. At first, Team Rocket, in the first 2 seasons or so, they kind of was a threat. And, they still were a little bit of a comic relief, but they still were kind of, a threat in a sense. But then they just kind of started being super goofy, and when they showed up in the show, it was just some kind of comedy, and sometimes it interrupted the show, and I felt like they could have done without them. They just eventually became a nuisance rather than an asset in the show, but that's a whole different video. But my point of this video today is just to talk and see if anybody feels the same way I do about the direction that Pokemon, Nintendo, Game Freak is going with these. They took out the evil teams and replaced them. I guess maybe they're trying to get in touch with a newer audience by making the opposite, children or fans, or just trying something new. But I feel like that didn't need to be fixed. There's so many things that people are asking them to fix in their games and change up. I just don't think that's one of them that anybody had a problem with. I could be wrong. There could have been people complaining about that, but I don't see why. But I always got this discussion video, maybe more of a rant video. It's something I had on my mind. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys agree with me, you disagree, or maybe you agree but you have a little bit something different to say. Let me know. I love to hear from you guys. And as always, I'm K-dre Almighty. And remember, no matter who you are, where you're from, there's mightiness in you. And with that, I'm out.